Oh, yes. The saving property doctrine. Yes. Personal injury suffered. But then there's that statute of limitations, suing for the damages of refusing to enforce the laws. Yes. Now, I've incurred a lot of damage that's been inflicted by those that issue court orders without any due process. Ouch. My sons have had a lot of damage over the last 7 years because of your refusal. Now I'm going to sue you for not preserving the statute of limitations. Ouch. See, you were obligated to give me notice and opportunity to be heard in 2011. Yes. And then you were obligated to give me notice and opportunity to be heard before you issued a dissolution of marriage. Yes. And you were obligated to give me notice and opportunity to be heard before you issued a protection order in 2015. Now, I've documented quite a few crimes and this concept of the doctrine of saving property. Let's say I thought I had ownership of the North Pole. Yes. The actual Arctic. Yes. Because I was Santa Claus and you thought Santa Claus was God. Pooh. Now, for every day that you allow for the melting of the Arctic, when I had documented the innovations necessary to freeze the actual Arctic, I had noticed that somebody did some weather engineering in the northern hemisphere of those that are the industrialized nations. Yes. Concerned about global warming, were you? Pooh. But as I looked at the actual data, it seemed that you had the intention of melting the Arctic. Now, some people had said that there's quite a bit of property underneath the Arctic that has certain minerals that would be of value to the various nations. Could you get me the international treaty obligations of every nation that recognizes that underneath the Arctic, where you used to not be able to take a boat from one side to the other? Yes. It used to be that you had to go around North America to get to the other side, known as Europe. Yes. But somebody didn't like having to go all that way. Now, nobody's doing any mineral or oil exploration in the newly available. Could you get me all the oil rigs in the northern hemisphere that thought, well, my gosh, look at this, the Arctic melted, now we can. I just need to have the global communication system of every ocean. I need to know. Now, I thought that if I put some of my steam desalinators, yes, I'd probably put one in the middle of the Arctic because that's the smallest North Pole. Yes, Southern Pole seems to be a little larger. Yes, I could produce enough steam so as to attract the cold weather to the northern hemisphere and refreeze the Arctic. Yes, but I'm thinking that somebody. Well, why don't you get me all the exploration in the northern hemisphere where Santa Claus dwells? Now, not enforcing the actual requirements of the PKPA, pooch, and the Pupils' Bill of Rights, yes, is obstructing me from making it difficult for mineral and natural gas oil exploration. I had one seen out in front of this harbor when one of these big oil companies had one of those those ocean drilling rigs, and being that warm time of year of the northern hemisphere, I just needed to know all the communication system. Did somebody think they would go out there? Norway? Pooh. Thought they'd get themselves some oil or some minerals. Pooch. I thought I'd rent one of these old submarines. Just get a large industrial sized vacuum cleaner and just start sucking up all the silt out there underneath the Arctic. Why don't you get me the communication system of every oil, mineral, and gas exploration company that thought, since it's so sunny outside, let's put up one of those, okay? Now, I know a lot of people say they're big, but the saving property doctrine would say that I have ownership of the North Pole. Do you understand, Santa Claus? You thought you played God with the United States.